Well, here we are, March, and spring has sprung. Spring has sprung, the sun has risen. I wonder where the birdies is. The bird is on the wing. No, that's absurd. The wing is on the bird. Right, enough of this silliness. Yeah, things are looking good. I've got bulbs and things, and it is just like spring is springing. So let's have a little walk round and have a look. Oh, let's have a quick look, see what we've got growing at home first. Okay, so let's have a look at my propagator. Take off that silver paper. We've got a bit of condensation inside there. Right, I've set this at 65. Yeah, 65. So I've sown some California Wonder peppers. I've got some parsnips, white gem, Craigella tomatoes, can't remember what's in that one. Oh, yellow peppers. We've got some growing here. These are peppers. These are red peppers. They're the Rosso type. And we've got here, that's the plum tomatoes. So that's what we've got going in there. Oh, I've also got here cauliflowers. That's all year round collies. All year round cauliflowers. And in this tall one here, can't remember, it's cabbage. There we go. And in the top one I've got, reflecting out, I've got some tomatoes that have already sprouted. There you go. And I've cut that in such a way so that the sun, of course, can reflect off it. There we go. It's back in there. Back in there. And they get a bit of the warmth coming up from the propagator. Let's go and have a look in the greenhouse. We've got in here some early peas. They're early onwards. And as you can see, they're just showing. They're in bits of guttering. I've got some leeks which are showing, growing. Hollyhocks, moneymaker, and then I've sewn up some peas in these old milk containers, and some broad beans. They're not for me, they're for the scouts. And then we've got a melon. They're just beginning to show, look. There's two I can see obviously, and I've got a feeling there's one more just beginning to show there. I've got marigolds. Oh, and that asparagus that I potted up to keep through the winter is just showing, look. So, and of course the compulsory lettuce. Cut and come again lettuce. Then I don't think this pepper is going to see its way through to the spring. I think that's had it. I've got a few more leeks there as well, look. Okay, so before we go back to the allotment, there's some mixed salad. So all them old seeds, I just put them all into a container, and that's given a salad that we can just cut just like if so it was cress. And there's some American land cress there behind it. All ready for tea tonight. Right, now let's go back to the allotment. Oh, here we are, we're back again. And then my cold frame, let's go a bit closer. So I've got 3 lettuce, and we'll go past my patio bit, that needs a good tidy up. And we'll go into the my prep room, if you like. I've been making candles, and I've got a little bit of colour in here still from a few things. Oh, I'm doing my potatoes. I'm chipping my potatoes. Now, normally I like to chip my potatoes in the dark, but this year I'm trying them in the light. And what I've done is I've sorted them all, and if they're sprouting, I've turned the sprouts upwards. But I imagine that they're only going to be there for a week or two. Oh, and I'll give them a quick spray as well. Let's show you me spraying. Now I've got some, it's ordinary boiled water, that's all it is. and I'll just give them a quick like so. Whether it does help them or not, I don't know. I'm only doing it because someone suggested that I do it. Yeah, there we go. Grow. Oh, and I've also done, I've done myself, I know you might think I've got time on my hands and I'm a bit sad, but there you go. I've done a plan of the allotment of what I propose to grow. And I've taken into account what I grew last year and the year before. So it's always a good idea. And only you could just do a sketch. It don't have to be posh and laminated, does it? So there we go. So potatoes I've got 3 lots of potatoes. I've got three beds. Right, let's go on round. So let's go in the greenhouse and have a look. Remember the last video I said this needed tidying up? I've only done it, that's all. Only tidied up. Now then, what we got in here? I've got a few peas. Those are me peas to fill in if I lose any of the ones that I've put out already. I've got sweet peas all ready to go out. I'm just waiting for it to be sure that the weather's going to be nice enough, because the other ones I put out, I lost some of those. I've got a rootstock there from a grapevine. It was a sucker came out, and I've kept it, and I'm going to try and graft on. I don't need to, I just thought I'd do it just for fun. I got a couple of lettuce in pots. I've got a Cape gooseberry there, which is a south zone one, but I've dug it up and I've potted it on, and it's surviving nicely. More sweet peas, and I'm having a go at bringing a pepper through the winter. I did it last year. Out of about 12 peppers I ended up with 1. And it had peppers on it, but it's not as good as a pepper that's been sown in the same year. Oh, I've got myself a potato, a south sown potato. I've dug it up and potted it up, and that's to give me a quick early potato. I've tried to make my own ericaceous soil, and that's a cutting from a blueberry. The soil I'm making it up with coffee grounds and sawdust and all sorts of other rubbish. and then I've got some carrots that I sowed, I think around about Christmas time, in this pot, just to give me some early carrots, and they're big enough to eat. There we go. So let's go on round the plot then. So nothing going here in these 2 beds which I used last year for lettuce and peppers, and I'll do the same again. I've got 1 volunteer sweet pea down there. I had several here, but it looks like something's eaten them, so I've put them bottles over the top. Right, strawberry patch. Well, it really did suffer with the frost, but they all look like they've survived, and this is the last year for this strawberry patch. Then my shallots, they're doing okay. I thought for 1 minute they were all coming up at different times, and I thought I'd lost some, but if you look very carefully you can see, no, they're all there and they're all coming all right. This end obviously gets the sun before the other end. And then this, I know you might think I've got more time than I can handle. I've labelled everything as well as the plan. I've labelled everything so that I know what I intend to put in here, and that's going to be pumpkins with sweet corn to shade it, and then I may grow beans up the sweet corn, the 3 sisters. There's me onion sets that I put in, and this is me carrot bed that I've made in an attempt to keep everything that wants to eat my carrots so that I can eat them instead. That means carrot fly and so on and so on. So there we go. I've made that bed up using soil, composted soil, and sand. Right, so we'll move on, and this is plot 12. As I say, you could say I'm a bit sad and I've got more time on my hands, but right, I've still got just a few beetroot going there, so I can pull a beetroot, and there's just 2 or 3 there that are just big enough to eat. Then this plot is going to be all the mixed things. As you can see, I've been putting a bit of wood ash on here. So this is going to be beetroot, leeks, generally small stuff. And there's the peas that I put out now. They've been out now for about a fortnight, and they're growing. So they've obviously, their roots have gone on, and they're doing stuff. And that's what all that wire's for, because we've got a fox that keeps digging holes. Then there's the last of my spinach. That will go to seed now, but it will give me some leaves just before it goes to seed. Then the potatoes that I brought through the winter, and the volunteer potatoes, have all died back. The frost was so heavy and so strong, it knocked them on the head. If I tipped them out, I might have some potatoes in there. On the other hand, I might just as well put another potato in. I've got plenty. Okay, moving on. Grape vines they've had a really serious pruning. Then I've got my asparagus bed there that I formed last year. That's not showing any signs yet, but I've cleared all the weeds around the bottom of the grapevines. So all's well. Rose bushes, I've pruned the rose bushes. Well, actually I didn't prune them, my wife pruned them, because she knows about things like that, being a gardener and all. That cauliflower, the frost has really done it in, and it had a little cauliflower coming, but it's not going to survive, I can see that. So this will be me peas and marrow, so I'm going to go 2 rows of peas either side of the marrow plants, and that'll give them a little bit of shade in the real super hot summer that we're going to have. Then of course my plastic bins, compost bins, they're doing really good, they are. Then this whole bed is spare, even though I did put a single row of onions along the back. They were Bedford Champion. I sowed them in seed trays and then put them out. I think they're surviving, they don't look very happy. And the blueberry bush is just beginning to show buds. I lost the other 2, and if I test the soil, it tests it as alkaline, even though I did put them in ericaceous soil. Then my potatoes in here, that was full of horse poo, seaweed, soil and coffee grounds. I need to put some more soil in there now and put some potatoes in. I think as soon as those potatoes in my prep area have sprouted, they'll go in. Right, then me plum tree is just showing buds, and the asparagus bed through here is, well, it's all been weeded and it's looking okay. If you wonder what all the sticks are for, is we have got a fox that's digging, and for some reason he likes to wee on this, and when he does you can smell it, and you wouldn't want to eat the asparagus after the fox has weed on it. So that's what all them sticks are. They're rose cuttings and grape prunings. My bins are doing good. This one is the one that I put the comfrey in, but I've also since learned banana skins give the same as comfrey, so I'm putting banana skins in there as well. So there we go. Then through here we've got those were the perpetual leeks. I dug the bunch up and I've split them all up and I've put them out, and hopefully they're going to give me leeks. Well, we'll see. So let's go back on round, back without making you too dizzy. Oh, I left a celery root in to see what would happen to that. Oh, the grapevines have all been well pruned. Then the next bed, let's go step over. That's my elephant garlic, and they're looking like elephant garlic. The Isle of Wight garlic that I put in here, put in by the side of it where those twigs are, they've not even shown up, and I think they might have damped off. We have had a lot of rain, even with this raised bed. I think perhaps I should have covered them. This is going to be the new strawberry bed, and as you can see I've got 3 rows in
and I will of course put another 2, maybe 3 rows there later. The grapevines, in an effort to stop them from getting rot, you know, the white dusty powdery mildew, I'm going to cover them. I'm going to cover them with a bit of plastic, but for the minute I'll just leave it all. I've just put the timber work up ready to do that, and then that timber work will make it easier for me to net them. Okay, moving on. Broad beans. I put the broad beans in, and I've been putting them in roughly at 4 weeks apart. So now I have got different rows. This row up here was the first lot, and the frost really knocked them to bits. But they've recovered. Look, they've put a bit of growth back on the top, and they've actually got flowers on them. So it's worth going for it. But next year I should learn, and if I do them early, I'll cover them. Then that was the next row. They're coming on, and they're just beginning to show flowers. Then the far end was the next lot, and then this lot. These are now probably about 6 weeks old in total. I did bring them on in trays at home, in individual, you know, sectional trays. Right, then the next row, that's just going to be potatoes, and I'm just leaving that because I've got some self-setted spinach in there, which I should just leave to grow. Then along here, right along this edge, I've got me bee-friendly flowers. Oh, and you might wonder what that bottle is. That's to keep the fox off. He takes about 3 or 4 weeks to get used to that. No, it's not a threat, but it's as good a way as any of keeping him off, and also for keeping the cats off as well. But so this bed will be potatoes, and as you can see, no, this is pumpkins. As you can see, he's been digging there. Look, I don't know why. There's nothing there, but he's probably just digging for worms. And then the last of that purple sprouting broccoli. There's a couple of little twigs on there where I'll probably eat, but there we go. And then my strawberries, these are the Just Add cream strawberries. They look as though they suffer terribly with the frost, but they're coming back, they're recovering. And then the fruit trees all the way along the back, they just begin to show leaf. Some of them are, the red currant is, and there's the raspberries are, but the gooseberries haven't yet. But there's I can just see it, the buds coming on them there. And the peach tree, the fig tree, I left them figs on. I think that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. You see what's happened, the frost has damaged them. I should have done what I was told and picked them all off. All the bigger ones, and left the smaller ones, which I did leave the smaller ones, but it was such a nice autumn that the little ones grew bigger, so I left it. But anyway, there we go. And then my peach tree, once again, to stop the peaches from going rotten, I've got a cover, and that works a treat. I don't get that peach curl. It's the answer is to keep it covered. Just keep the worst off, keep the worst of the wet off. Same with the pear tree. It's just beginning to bud now, so everything is looking good. Then there was me strawberry tub that I've made to get the strawberries, in the hope that the creatures won't eat them before me. Then these last 2 beds will be potato beds. Then the carrot bed, which was the carrot bed, is now, because of those 2 lovely parsnips that I grew in here, I'm going to make this just a parsnip bed. And I've already put in 3 tubes. Then I've put soil in, I've watered the soil, then I'll put the seed in, then I'll put dry soil on top. And that seems to be the way. And we'll see. And the seed that I've used is seed saved from a parsnip that went to seed last year. Some of the other allotment holders have done an experiment with the seed, and they reckon that it's about a 90% germination. So that leaves us now just the last few grapevines, all been well pruned, all ready to go and covered. I'm well pleased. Pond, no frog spawn in the pond yet, but we have got frog spawn in shallow ponds. And the bees are really happy. Look at that, and there's pollen coming in as well. They are well busy bees. So there we go, there's the plot. I'm happy the way things are going. I'm hoping for more produce to spread them out through the year, this coming year, but now that I've got all the raised beds done, obviously there's some of them that still got timber around the sides, but I will over time change them all to paving slabs as and when I get the paving slabs. So that will save me doing a lot of hard work into my old age, because I'm not old yet. Goodbye, happy gardening, but be safe. Oh, and don't forget to have that injection.